Klaus Schwab is the same thing. Most people don't remember that the World Economic Forum almost went bankrupt. And but for some economic support, largely provided by a guy in Melbourne, Australia, which has an interesting link to the draconian lockdown in Victoria in Australia, and the horse trampling of people and the, people getting dragged out of their homes for their Facebook posts and everything else. That Melbourne, that Victoria, the guy who actually kept Klaus Schwab alive when WEF was almost going out of business was an Australian. Very few people actually know that. But we should, and we should talk about that. We should talk about why WEF was allowed to continue to exist at the time when Klaus Schwab had steered it right into the iceberg. And then we should ask, well, why was it kept alive, and what is it really? Not unlike the Gates Foundation. There's a story behind the story. WEF is a marketing arm of stupidity to see how many things you can say, like a Yuval Harari, saying that we don't need to have reproduction after 2030. And what happens is that they say ridiculous things, and then people get whipped up into a frenzy over, we're going to have 15-minute cities, we're going to have digital currency, we're going to have this, we're going to have that, we're going to have something else. And nobody stops and says, hold on a minute, why don't we just not let his voice be heard? Because we could. If we say, no airtime to Yuval, in fact, hashtag silence Yuval, hashtag silence Klaus, right? Where's that? What if we actually just didn't let their message go anywhere? Well, they would actually collapse on the ground in a heap as the very evidentiary hollow beings that they are. And their minions, which work within their organizations, would all go, you know what, Davos really isn't fun anymore, and they'd stop going.